Yeah, do the
your
ZRX
report,
review.
and I'm
real
going to come
quick.
back with a couple more things I've got here.
Cool. Well, obviously from the title, you know we're doing ZRX. I know some people in this community really like ZRX and are holders. If Gary's in here, it might be a little late for him, but obviously he's the one who started talking about ZRX around these prices.
Gary's Thailand girlfriend landed today, so he said he's going to be busy for a month, so we might not see him much.
A month? Man, she keeps him busy.
Right.
She's got him cleaning the house.
We Skype a lot, but he said she had just landed, and he wished us luck, and he'll be in here, I'm sure, if he can get away.
Awesome. Well, for those of you who do not know, ZRX strives to be an open, permissionless protocol allowing for ERC20 tokens to be traded on the Ethereum blockchain. As you see right here on the coin market cap, it is currently sitting at 52 cents. At the highs, I think this thing was about $2, guys, several times. It's actually $2.40 up here. And it has a total supply of 1 billion coins. About half of that is currently circulating, and it's got a $272 million market cap. Currently ranked number 46. One thing I do always like about ZRX is the volume of trading is always pretty high. We're looking at $5 million worth of volume. Not too shabby, especially with volume across the market being down. So I kind of wanted to start off just by looking at the team. Obviously, I know people, before you guys get started, can be like, oh, maybe ZRX to Coinbase. And maybe, obviously, nobody really knows. This is on my list that checks a lot of those boxes for a couple of reasons. Number one, their team is pretty solid, guys. They got a nice team. But the one thing that gets me thinking about Coinbase here is look at the advisors. We got Fred over here. He's the co-founder of Coinbase. We also got Linda over here, who previously was a worker at Coinbase. And then we got Olaf here, who was a first hire at Coinbase. So we got a lot of people from Coinbase, current or former, that have interacted with ZRX. Also, Coinbase did just announce that they are going to enact ERC20 capabilities, which ZRX is. So that's pretty interesting, guys. If you guys do not know, Litecoin did get added. Charlie Lee used to work at Coinbase. He says that helped a little bit, but wasn't the final cause. So one thing to keep in mind, just want to do that before the entire chat starts spamming ZRX to Coinbase. So ZRX is an open protocol that is designed to offer a decentralized exchange as part of the Ethereum blockchain. Essentially, it facilitates the peer-to-peer exchange of ERC20 tokens in a secure, trustless, feeless, and quick manner through the use of Ethereum smart contracts. So what is the problem here that really ZRX is trying to solve? So when I do fundamental analysis on anything, I really want to look, hey, does this coin solve a problem? Is there a solution that the blockchain is needed to have? Some things just don't need a blockchain, guys, whether you want to believe it or not, and those ones go down to the bottom of the list. So the problem that it is trying to solve is centralized exchanges such as GDAX, Bitfinex, or Poloniex are vulnerable to hacks or security failures as well as transaction and trade fees. On the other hand, decentralized exchanges such as EtherDelta and Oasis solve some of these issues but are slow, illiquid, and bloat the Ethereum blockchain. So ZRX combines the strengths and avoids the weaknesses of these two types of exchanges. In the ZRX protocol, orders are transported off-chain, massively reducing gas costs and eliminating blockchain bloat. Relayers help broadcast orders and collect a fee each time they facilitate a trade, and anybody can build a relayer. So down here they got a couple big name people that are relayers currently. We can look at a full list if you guys want. All these coins are currently built upon ZRX protocol, and then these are all the relayers in which you can transact with to do decentralized exchange transactions with your ERC20 tokens. So that list is growing every day, and anybody can build on that, guys. So if you guys don't really understand how that works, so when you use a decentralized exchange, those transactions are occurring on the Ethereum blockchain. Therefore, you are relying on the scalability and security of that blockchain in order for a trade to occur. But with ZRX, they use a relayer where it's off-chain. They set up the smart contract for, say, me to trade ZRX with Cam Bryan over here. Once that trade occurs, then those coins go back onto the Ethereum blockchain like nothing ever happened, and you're not relying on the scalability of Ethereum, but just instead the scalability of ZRX. So it's pretty interesting how they got that going, guys. And really over the long term, if we bring more people into the ecosystem, this will be really necessary in order to keep up with scalability demands. Overall, ZRX has two main utility functions. The first being their governance, and the second being their relaying fees. So the governance, ZRX will allow holders to vote on changes to the ZRX protocol. This is a critical feature since relayers will want to upgrade the protocol and use the same 0x contracts as other relayers in order to maximize liquidity. Liquidity is a very important problem that needs to be solved for decentralized exchanges. Otherwise, you have a really big gap in the buy and sell orders, creating arbitrage, and that's just not going to work. A governance mechanism decreases the chance of upgrade forks, allows an automatic upgrade of contracts, ensuring consistency across users, and therefore permits efficient upgrades to the protocol. And then the second value proposition of ZRX is the relaying fees. Relayers will host off-chain order books and matching engines to match orders of makers and takers. Makers and takers is simply just buyers and sellers on the order book. Makers and takers being matched using the service will pay a fee to the relayer using ZRX. Since a fee in ZRX will be paid for every transaction, the more transactions are being done on the ZRX protocol, the more value ZRX should have, theoretically. So overall, guys, the project, the team, the progress, and the execution all look to be promising. The network effect is in place for this project. The more usage the ZRX protocol and its relay exchanges have, the more valuable ZRX is. This is because investors prefer exchanges with heavy volume and lower bid-ask spread. This can be really seen and verified through Binance, guys. It's got the highest volume, it's got the lowest spread, and that's where all the users continue to go. Also, 0x being added to Coinbase would obviously create a massive gains, but even if that doesn't happen, the fact that 0x checks so many of the regulatory and due diligence boxes, at least for me, it's a pretty good sign for the future of this coin. Now, with all these, I do like 0x, obviously. I am a little bit biased, but with all these, I just want to present the facts, and I try to find some negatives with it as well, and this coin does not go without having any negatives. So on a negative side, SEC regulations may have restrictions on exchanges operating in the U.S. or for U.S. citizens. This could potentially limit the usage of 0x as certain ERC20 tokens may be considered securities here in the future. Also, as of now, 0x only works for ERC20 tokens. If another smart contract protocol overtakes Ethereum in fundraising popularity, there may not even be much demand for 0x going forward. So if Ethereum for some reason fails, and maybe Ethereum Classic or Neo or any of these other protocols we like, and 0x doesn't adjust, obviously it is built for Ethereum, and if Ethereum goes, so will 0x. So that's always a possibility. I don't really see that happening as Ethereum does have such a large market share, and they got Vitalik, and they're moving forward. Now, I do think some of these protocol tokens will eat into Ethereum's market share, but I still see a pretty bright future here for 0x. It's a very unique coin that is really trying to solve a problem in this ecosystem, and I'm willing to put a little bit of my money into it, but make sure to do your own research, guys. And it's really hard for me to even say I like a coin that Gary said that people should buy, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. So that's the facts for you guys. If you guys have any comments, concerns, or questions, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below after this video is over. Make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe button as well, guys. We're trying to build this community back up and keep doing these things for you. I think Todd's going to go ahead and take a look at the TA on it.
Yep, we got ZRX USD. I put an uptrend channel on this yesterday. We've been stair-stepping lower with lower lows, lower highs, so it definitely still has some work to do. Gary had mentioned it back down at these levels before. I think he was mentioning around 5. I picked a little bit up around 6.5. And I guess as Nick said, I think there's some value here, but we've got to get these alts acting better and get some money come back into this market.